you ready for the latest and greatest from Liftfoils and some new high aspect wings, tail wings, and a mast? Tune in, let's do this. Thank you guys so much for tuning back. We're gonna dive right into this. We got a special guest today, Evan Nash, pro rider, sales rep for Lift, total rock star waterman. He's gonna join us and we're gonna talk about all this new exciting gear from Liftfoils. And you can get it at Wingfoil Pro Center. And let's dive right into this. Evan, come on in. Most knowledgeable person in the industry, Evan Nash, and we're here to talk to you about some brand new high aspect wings, the 220 high aspect X, the 180 high aspect X, a couple new tail wings, the 21 flow, 31 flow, and a brand new mast. So we're gonna dive right into it and we're gonna explain why this would be good for you or what they're used for. And so thank you, Evan, and let's do this. So you've had some time on these. Who are these wings for?
Yeah, no, thanks. I wouldn't quite say I'm the most what did you say, knowledgeable in the industry, but I got on these for the first time the other day and they're really, really fun to ride. They're definitely designed for, I would say, speed and efficiency and glide 100%. You know, if that's a downwind prone foiler, downwind on a SUP, probably even more specifically, maybe behind a boat if you're looking to ride like the 10th wave back, or really even like light wind, I think winging, like for ultra efficiency. You know, when I rode it, that's what these screamed to me, was just, efficiency, but efficiency at speed, not one of those like super low end draggy wings, but a ton of glide, a ton of speed, and a lot of lift, obviously, with the size.
If you've ridden the 150 HAX, these are like the big brothers of them, and they were designed to make it, more glide, more efficiency, a little bit easier, but without losing that performance. And I think they put it all into this package. And I put some time on this winging. I put some time on this, on waves. And what I would say is this 220 for somebody that's, I guess I would say a winger that's looking for control for tacks, jibes, especially this new flow tail is longer, which relates to exactly what Evan said, where this wing matches up with the flow because it's going to be a really drawn out, really stable. So for winging, for instance, this wing will be super forgiving, but it doesn't have necessarily a top end where you just hit a wall. It'll have tons of glide, tons of efficiency. I would say low end, I've tested this in under 10 miles an hour on a wing, and I was on a downwind board, and I was able to ride the 220 and the 180 in under 10. Now, I'm definitely more experienced on a wing, but I would just say that if you're looking for the longest, like, efficiency ride, glide, lots of stability, lots of speed, this is gonna be it. And if you really enjoyed the 150 HAX, I mean, these are gonna go right into your quiver. It's gonna be better for a little bit of a bigger person, somebody a little larger, because it's gonna be same kind of feel, but more glide and more efficiency.
Yeah, I mean, I think what you said, like we initially came out with the 110, the 150, which were great for smaller riders or like maybe a little more energy in the water. And I think, I know Matt spent a lot of time riding these and kind of helping Nick develop them. I think really with stand-up paddling, downwinding in mind. So bigger board, more weight, maybe a bigger rider, or maybe conditions that aren't as good, like really kind of light wind or not a whole lot of energy in the water. And I think the fact that they're built with all that efficiency really for stand-up paddling downwind, right, or bigger riders, is kind of what just happens to make them work so well as well for that light wind winging. So I kind of look at these really, in my eyes, as like specific for downwinding, and maybe even specific for downwinding on a SUP, but all the qualities that make them good for that really also make them good for light wind winging, or if you're trying to prone paddle in just minimal conditions in terms of just wave size or energy speed, especially on the East Coast here, where you might have a small wave and that small wave is moving slow. That's where this is nice.
Yeah, and just to like package it up, so we have this brand new flow wing, the 31 and a 21, and it's just a longer tail, which gives you more stability. And when you're riding, say, a downwind board or a prone board, and you're riding some swell, it's just going to lock you in more, give you more control.
I think too, one other important thing on the tail is like the pump cadence, right? We found like a lot of people were liking that carved tail. because it, you know, has a little more angle of
And the
attack.
carve is shorter.
Yeah, it gives you, yeah, this is the carve right here, a little shorter, and a lot of people were liking that, but with our 3-inch extension, right? And so I think Nick was thinking, let's make that so you don't need that extension, and while we're at it, let's make it a little higher aspect, a little more efficient, kind of as that tail specific for, you know, again, like efficiency, to pair with the efficiency of this front wing going downwind. So I think a lot of people are going to be excited about this just because it simplifies it, and it's certainly an easier tail to use than that little carve that you have set up. That's going to be a pretty fast pump cadence.
And what's really cool is these are launched, and it also launched with the new mast. And the new mast, 30% stiffer, 45% torsionally twist stiffer, and it wasn't gained that way by going thicker in the mast, which creates more drag. It was lean and mean like the classic. We just have different carbons on it to make it designed to work really in unison with this, or even for somebody that's just looking for the stiffest, most performance, high-end mast, bam, them too.
Yeah, I think, you know, it's the exact same profile, right? It's the exact same as our classic mast, which is really thin, really efficient, which is great. And I believe obviously these wings have a pretty big wingspan, and if you are using it on an SUP or you are a bigger rider, especially if you're on the 32-inch mast or larger, with this huge wingspan, you're going to need extra rigidity for control. And you know, I believe that's really kind of why these were kind of designed at the same time. It's like, all right, if we're making this wing with a bigger wingspan, larger wing, let's make it ultra stiff mast to go with it. I've been using this stiff mast as well, doing a little bit of toe foiling, and it feels great. But I think that real value of that stiff mast is going to be either heavier rider, big waves, high speed, or big wing, low speed.
Yeah.
So yeah, the new M2 mast I think is going to be a great addition to the lineup.
It comes in at 28, 32, 36.
Yep.
And one other thing to just nail would be that, yes, you can e-foil these 100%. It's a longer wingspan. Me personally, I enjoy the Camber Pro wings on an e-foil. I really think they're designed specifically for the e-foil. There's no question if you want to have glide on waves and really easy, you know, efficiency, you can throw these on an e-foil, hands down, no problem. And the flow tail is going to give you a lot of stability because it has a, you know, longer fuselage, which gives you that stability. But that's my take on this on an e-foil.
Yeah, I definitely wouldn't look at this as an e-foil specific wing. If you wanted to go out and try to break a distance record on a battery, then this is going to win that for you. For my everyday riding, I think I want something with a little more turning performance, but certainly would be a cool option on the e-foil. Maybe even with a folding prop, you're trying to ride waves, because again, this thing's all about efficiency.
So these are the big brothers of the 150 HAX and new lineup. This is going to be great. Get your hands on one of these, give it a go. We'd love to hear your feedback. Not to mention, we're excited to launch this. Hopefully we see you out on the water. Thank you guys so much, and we'll go from there.